What happened with where did the rift come between you and the UFC? What brought that on?
It's one of those things where Dana saw things one way, I saw things another. I'm coming from it from a fighter's standpoint. He's coming from a promoter's standpoint. Prior to me having a discussion with him and talking with him, I had one thought, and he had one thought. I didn't know his thinking. I didn't understand where he was coming from. Now that after I've had the conversation with him, I kind of get what he was doing.
Right.
But at the same time, even with myself, now that I have an understanding of what he was coming from, okay, I get it, right? But I didn't have that understanding at first. I hope the same thing is with him. Now that he knows the direction of where I was coming from, that he would understand a little bit about why I was doing what I was doing. Because now that you have the whole picture of what each guy was doing and why they were doing it, then you should probably be able to have a true understanding about that. And if you still feel the same way, then, obviously you can apply whatever it is you want to apply. But if there's a different thought process, because you understand now what they were doing, then you can kind of change your strategy a little bit. And because I know where Dana's coming from and what he was doing, I'm not necessarily in complete agreement with all of it that he's saying or doing.
Right.
But I do have an understanding of why he was doing certain things, and now my strategy has to be different. I think I went at it wrong. I think I came at it from a bad spot. I came at it from being angry. Felt like he was taking advantage of me, and that he didn't care whether I lived or died. And I'm sure at one point in time he probably didn't.
Yeah.
But it was mostly on our doing that created that, not from any situation that each one of us did.
Well, what got you guys back on the same page together?
I think it's the we got to be able to speak to one another. And JT, one of my good friends, actually had a few people that he had talked to, but really the understanding was TMZ had been doing some stuff on this incident that happened with a bodyguard and a client, and how they handled it, and it was public. And because I had been doing some work, it kind of took off in TMZ, and they were interested in a fighter turned bodyguard, and for whatever reason, it was like this superhero thing. I don't know. So they came to me and asked me what I thought about this guy's performance, and I said, well, I wasn't there. And I don't know everything that happened before or after that. I don't know what transpired, but from what I see directly in front of me, these are things that he could have done to prevent the situation from getting out of hand.
Right.
And I pointed those out. Well, and then TMZ goes over and they see Dana White walking down the street from a fight. TMZ runs over to Dana and they figure they'll get some dirt. And they ask Dana, they go, hey, Dana, what do you think about Ken Shamrock's comment on this bodyguard thing? And Dana turns around and says, Shamrock's an idiot. He's an idiot. And they're like, what? He says, he's a complete idiot. Just talk to the guy for 5 minutes. You'll find out. And the guy, of course, TMZ goes, I'll throw some wood on this fire. Well, I've talked to him. He seems pretty intelligent. Dana just lights it up. Just all coming out. So TMZ goes, oh, we got something. So they run back, pick up the phone. Hey, Ken. Do you hear what Dana said about you? And I didn't,
Right.
And you know me, I'm always willing to, fire a few things out.
Yeah.
So they go, well, Dana called you a complete idiot. He said you're stupid. Talked to that for 5 minutes. You can tell he's brainless and this and that. And my first instinct was to just, do what I normally do. And I just had this thought, man, that, God was on me. And he, going, it's not how we act. And just literally took over. And I said, it's amazing that every time that my name is brought up or that his name is brought up, there's just nothing but negativity being said. I said, I think we owe it to the fans. I think we owe it to ourselves. And I think we owe it to the organization itself that just put this thing behind us. I'm tired of it. I'm tired. I mean, I am. I'm done with it. And before it was over, I said, but I do want to say this. It says, I think it's because he's secretly in love with me. Thank goodness they didn't tell him that. But so they went back to him and they said, hey, I heard Shamrock wanted to squash the beef. And Dana goes, really? Now listen, this is Dana White, who doesn't, he's up there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's got a lot of money. He's powerful. He doesn't have to answer to anybody. And he says, really? Okay. All right. So he hangs up. TMZ calls up, says, hey, we told Dana White, and he says he wants to squash the beef. So, wow, that's pretty cool. I was shocked, but I didn't know what the deal was. Well, who's going to call who? So Dana picks up the phone and calls me and says, hey, I want to squash the beef. And I was like, yeah, I just, man, it's like, I don't even, where does this even start, man? I mean, like, I know we have our issues and our problems with things, but it's ridiculous that we're firing off at each other for whatever reasons, bodyguard thing. And so he got heated, there's no question, because we have a position that we've both had taken for so long about different things, the fighter pay, fighter treatment, and so not really being able to talk to one another to really get an understanding, especially hearing media stuff and hearing other people, we're getting everything third hand.
Right.
I didn't believe in everything that he had said, on his position, but it was his position. And at least I understood where he was coming from, and it wasn't just out of hatred and anger and dislike. It was out of a position that he had taken. And whether I agreed with it or not doesn't really matter. It just felt good that it wasn't just out of malice and out of anger. And so after we had discussed it for a little while, it was basically in a position where it was about time that we just stop. No matter what one or the other thought. This is stupid. And so I'm glad we're there now, because it really is. I mean, I have a history there. And, it was a very, very big part of my life. And it's a shame that I can't enjoy it without having some stigma to it.